astronauts to the moon.
What's going on, everyone? Jeranism here with a video today that I hope you take the time and sit and ponder on it and really try and digest the information that I present so that you can take some of these very important proofs and arrive at a very important, if not essential, conclusion regarding who we are, where we live, and why that's truly important. But first, I'm going to be late for a eulogy, so give me 1 second. I'll be back. Dear ye beloved, friends and family here of the sphere, today we pay our respects to the good old globe. Yes, no need to spin another rotation. No need to pretend ye have an axis. No more turmoil, no more constant pressure of gravity. Yeah, I can't even imagine the difficulty that must have been living with all those lies that had to be told in support of you. I know Mr. Coriolis and Mr. Foucault feel bad and will be speaking here shortly. You were loved by many, even though some considered you crazy. We will always remember you for the way that you lit up every day, half day. And you were never far from us when we needed you. You could be found in every classroom, in every school book, in every commercial, in every logo, in every magazine, every newspaper. Yes, you could truly say you were found globally. You were a rotator, you were a galaxy and universe traveler. And you carried so many people on your shoulders, whether they were above or below you. You can now go home and rest in peace. I have more to say. Please see the globituary in tomorrow's newspapers. Yeah, it was a sad service if you guys missed it. Okay, I admit it. That funeral is kind of a premonition. But in this video I will be giving some proofs that are extremely damning to the doctrine of the sphere. Yes, you heard that right. The doctrine of the sphere. I didn't make that up. Helping me release today's info? Scientist Bill Nye, the F-bomb guy.
The universe. For centuries, humankind has strived to understand this vast expanse of energy, gas, and dust. In recent years, a stunning breakthrough has been made in our concept of what the universe is for.
Very close, Bill. We are actually going to discuss us, humans, using the age-old Big Six questions. The who, the what, where, the when, the why, the how. Using those, we will quickly be able to realize why we're here, who we are, and where are we. I'm going to start by knocking out 4 of these really quick. First, who? Who are we? We're humans. We're parents. We're families. We're friends. We're children. That's who we are. What are we? Well, we're Homo sapiens. We are animals with superior intellect and superior development. We have the power of articulate speech. We have an upright stance. We are clearly special in that we can make decisions that are against our nature. We are truly an animal like no other. Why are we? Well, because we have no choice. We're here. That's all we know. When are we? Well, all we know is that we are now. Some of us, most of us, were here yesterday, and most of us will be here tomorrow. But the only thing we know for sure is that we are here right now. So that leaves us with 2. 2 left. We've got the how, and we've got the where. And I shall answer both.
Scientists once believed the universe was a chaotic collection of matter. We now know the universe is essentially a force.
So how are we here? You know, I always say to you guys to not trust men. And so that includes me. So what I'm trying to do is basically lay things out neatly and easily so that I hope you can come to an easier conclusion. So to me, there are three possibilities that can explain the how when discussing how we got here. Number one is accidental, the Big Bang Theory, there was no intelligent thought. This includes Darwinian evolution.
A next stage would be perhaps something like a sea anemone, which has an inside and an outside and has a feeding mechanism. The next stage would be something like a worm, which has a front and a back and a left side and a right side, and which propels itself along the sea bottom. The next stage might be something like a fish, which, well, we know what a fish looks like. Then, much later still, some fish started emerging from the water, and we have extremely good fossil evidence of this stage in evolution, when fish emerged from the water and became amphibians. At a later stage still, these amphibians no longer needed to go back to water to reproduce and became reptiles. At a later stage still, they became mammal-like reptiles. Instead of going along with their feet splayed out sideways like a lizard, they rose with their limbs more vertical. And they may have grown hair at this stage. We don't know whether they grew hair at this stage. And walked on all fours, and there was a magnificent flowering of mammal-like reptiles, actually before the dinosaurs. During the period of the dinosaurs, the mammals went rather into eclipse. When the dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, the mammals started to flourish and flower and produce the magnificent range of mammals that we see today, among whom were some rather shrew-like ones who went into the trees and became adept at swinging through the trees. Some of them became adept at swinging from their arms rather than their legs. It's called brachiation. And they lost their tails, they became the apes. And that's where you wanted me to stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Number two, could have been a multiverse. Could be an infinite possibility, infinite universe, parallel universe situation that's very complex and very deep.
What I want to point out, obviously, the answer is yes and no. because
the answer is yes.
It could be that all possible laws occur. It could be that all possible combinations of laws, I mean, multiverse doesn't have to be finite. It could be that every possibility that can happen happens, and therefore every possible set of laws of physics may exist, and that's the same, it seems to me, as having no laws.
And number three, it could be God or some sort of intelligent design. So let's break these down. So the first one being accidental, which would include the Big Bang Theory, which would include evolution for the most part, the current scientific establishment's belief in the fact that there cannot possibly be a God, and so it must be accidental. Now, I don't know how many of you believe that, but if you look at the percentages, only 38% of Americans believe in evolution, which is strange since it's taught in schools as a fact. Shouldn't that number be a lot higher than 38%? Or is there something inside every single person telling them something isn't right about the current theory? But let's be straight up about evolution and Big Bang cosmology, the age of the Earth, etc., etc. To me, they're all bullshit. From what I've heard and what I understand about science, if the theory of evolution fails a challenge, then it proves that theory false. Have you ever noticed that the theory of evolution is a theory? It is not a law. It will never be a law. Take dogs. We can selectively breed dogs to get desired traits, but can we breed cats to become dogs? Natural selection cannot venture outside of the limits set by DNA. And DNA cannot be changed into a new species by any natural process, and this has been tested a million times over. Kids are taught in school that if left alone, life can evolve given enough time. This is a false statement, and it has no scientific support, yet they consider it science. See, they want so badly to believe that it is true that they will go to such extraordinary lengths to defend their little fairy tale. Meanwhile, most average people are intimidated into accepting it as fact, because if they don't, they're told they will appear stupid or dumb. Because the current scientific establishment considers it true, they have to accept it if they want to be considered smart and scientific. So, everyone, here's the facts, and here's the point of this video, is I need you to understand what I'm about to say, because I do get it that many people want to argue the facts that they're taught in science and the physics facts and the proven facts. But what you need to understand is that the education system in the country of the United States and countries across the world is nothing more than an indoctrination system. They teach you not to think. No, I don't mean that your teachers are all in some huge conspiracy and the lizard men and all these other things that people want to tell me. I'm saying that your teachers have been taught by teachers who were also taught not to think by their teachers who were taught not to think by their teachers. If you choose to use logic and solid science, you will get shown that you are wrong when it comes to the things that are not changeable by their rules and regulations. They will not let you dispute evolution. The reason why is because if evolution is wrong, then the entire basis for biology is wrong. They are brainwashing you into conforming to the accepted dogmas. If you look at communism, communism has done this and used these techniques for years. If evolution was true, we would see millions of transitional fossils, and we have zero. And Darwin believed that if his theory was correct, then we would find numberless intermediate varieties linking closely together all the species of the same group. We have found none. Macroevolution doesn't take place in nature, and it doesn't take place in a lab, despite all their attempts. Nobody has ever seen one creature turn into another. Yet you have to believe this to believe in evolution, despite evidence, despite the ability to test it, and that isn't science. It isn't. However, they need you to believe in evolution to believe in the rest of their nonsense. If I told you to use your common sense and to tell me which animal is closest to the T-Rex, the Stegosaurus or the current human being, I'm assuming you would tell me that the Stegosaurus must be closer to the T-Rex, but according to science, it's not. You are closer to the Tyrannosaurus Rex in years than the Stegosaurus was to the existence of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. These are the kind of things that they have placed on their timeline of their dogmatic beliefs that you are not allowed to challenge. Doesn't matter if you have science, doesn't matter if you have common thought, if you have evidence, they don't care. Because you cannot destroy their timeline. You cannot do anything to upset their beliefs. And if that's not dogma, then what is? Pseudoscience is a collection of beliefs or practices mistakenly regarded as being based on the scientific method. That is what science has become. Science has become a religion. It is a religion without a God, a religion that hates God so much that their dogma all circulates and surrounds the preconceived notions of evolution, of an expanding, crazy vastness of space, of other worlds, of other rotating planets, of millions of suns just like ours, And if you start to look at it from the right position, which is an open mind, again, don't believe me, but don't believe your teacher just because what they got came out of a book. Because whoever wrote that book had funding from somebody who wanted that information to be put into your head. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's what you need to do, is open your mind. Science is a matter of controversies and cover-ups regarding basic truths that the scientific leaders, the powerful forces, they suppress. They suppress anything that would be inconvenient to their dogma. And that's just the truth. And if you think that you can bring me Wikipedia articles and send me links to books that have been written by scientists and others who have been indoctrinated by the system, please understand what I'm telling you is I don't want to hear anything from anyone who has been indoctrinated by the system I'm telling you is corrupt. Okay? I learned the same things that all you guys learned. I learned about space. I learned about orbital mechanics. I learned everything that you learned. But then, when I looked at it with an open mind, I haven't seen space. I know how things work in this world, that when something is opened up, it immediately is commercialized. If they went to the moon in 1969, by 1975 they would have been charging money for people to go there. Or by 1985, or by 1995, or by 2005, or by 2015. This would be exploited to the highest levels. So you cannot bring me Wikipedia articles, because the people that think they're the intellectuals writing the Wikipedia and correcting the Wikipedia and asking for citations are those who have been indoctrinated into a system believing they are intellectuals about things of which they have no proof. And there's still one more thing that you really have to consider, is when they have to tell you that you're dumb or stupid for believing in something, there is a reason why. To them, the flat earth is dumb, it's stupid, you're an imbecile. To them, if you don't believe in evolution, what do you believe in? Creation? You're a creationist. Come on. Have we all heard that before? Why, if it's science, is there not a discussion or a debate? Remember, science, when I think science, I think of three big things. Observation, evidence, experiments. Those are the keys. And yeah, our observations or our experiments may be flawed, but the evidence is what's key. We can choose to take the evidence that we have and accept it or not, and then we create our doctrines or our scientific facts based on those. But science has such a deep-held hope that one day they will find the answer to it all, as long as it isn't God, that they will not allow anything to ruin their accepted dogmas that protect the belief that there is no God. When I say belief, I always get yelled at by science lovers. They say science isn't a belief. That is a flat-out lie, and I'll tell you why. Because science must be tested. And we have never seen life come from non-life, despite numerous tests. So scientists believe that life came from non-life, despite the fact that there's evidence against it. Hopefully you can see that and realize that they're all liars. For them to say they believe in something, but then say it's not a belief, that is a sign. If life can't come from non-life in a testable situation, an observable incident, then it is a belief. It is a religion. And the idea that multicellular organisms evolved from single-celled organisms, all by a random, natural, evolutionary process, is a belief. It's a religion. Yet they teach it in schools. It is in every biology book. It is in every PBS special. It's in every documentary you can find. When this can finally be tested and proven, as science dictates, then we'll call it science. What do you think of this evolution, Bill Nye?
It just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck. Oh my.
Well, I feel the same way. And all you have to do is look at some of these hoaxes that have gone on in history. The Piltdown Man and other such fossilized frauds. Somebody is out there trying so hard to prove evolution that they're faking it. There's a reason why they're faking evidence and faking theories and faking Coriolis effects. There's a reason. And if you opened your mind to the truth that is behind it, you'll be pretty shocked, but it will be the most freeing feeling you've ever had in your life to know that when Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson says that science is true no matter what you believe, or whether you believe it's true or not, when you realize what a dipshit he is, you'll feel pretty good. Up next, we've got the very scientific theory of the multiverse. What the multiverse states is that any universe that can be worked out on paper has an equal possibility of existing, as does the universe we currently live. They state that space is so big that the rules of probability must apply, and that states that there are so many planets, in fact an infinite number of planets, that there must somewhere be a planet with life existing on it exactly in the form that life is existing here, with a you, with a me, at this exact moment doing the exact same thing. That's the multiverse. Scientists also say that most of these are unreachable, simply because since space is still expanding, some of them are expanding faster than the speed of light. Therefore, we would never be able to get there, so they are infinitely out of reach. That is the multiverse. And that is a scientific theory. All of this while science walks around with t-shirts that say science doesn't care about your beliefs, which is simply because you believe in God and they believe in a multiverse. But they don't care about your beliefs. They certainly care about somebody's. Let's talk about the last option, which is God. Now, if you all walked into this classroom and I was teaching, and I told you that the word God appeared on the chalkboard as a result of me throwing the piece of chalk at the chalkboard, in which it spelled out the word God and fell to the floor, how many people would believe me? And how many multiverses, and how many different situations, and how many conceivable years, and how many millions upon billions upon millions upon billions of years would it take for someone to throw that piece of chalk against that chalkboard and that be the result? Would it ever happen? Using your common sense, using your brain, using your intellect, can I throw a piece of chalk against a chalkboard and the result be the spelling of the word God? If you're saying yes, turn off my video. I don't want you listening anymore. If you're able to accept the fact that no, you cannot throw a piece of chalk against a chalkboard and have the word God come out, then you're starting to understand that you also cannot explode nothing into planets and galaxies and heat and light and laws of physics. Those things don't go hand in hand. They don't work. And that word on the board is 3 letters. Now we know that the DNA that makes up you and I is 4 letters. However, those 4 letters need to be put into a sequence billions of letters long in order to make a human being. So you will believe I can't throw a piece of chalk against a board and it create 3 letters. But somehow you'll believe in evolution and life coming from non-life, which means from nothing came planets, came stars, came suns, came Earth, which brought life, which brought a DNA code, which brought 4 letters, which brought billions of letters long to create living organisms. Hopefully you see the difference between what they tell you is stupid about beliefs and what is truly stupid about belief. Next, we have a nice little image I found that tells us the difference between science and pseudoscience. Believe it or not, I think this image is supposed to be in favor of science, but you tell me if science seems like they are conforming more to the scientific definition or to the pseudoscience definition. We'll start with science, which follows the evidence wherever it leads, which embraces criticism. I repeat, embraces, is open to, accepts criticism. Go ahead and go back through every one of my videos and tell me, based on the comments, if people accept and embrace my criticism. It uses precise terminology with clear definitions. Please go to the Gravity Wikipedia page, read it top to bottom, and tell me if your definition of that page uses precise terminology with clear definitions. Claims are conservative and tentative. Go to science topic under Huffington Post every day and look how every day they discovered something new. Does that sound like conservative and tentative? Or does it sound like they'll put out anything they want on any day? Doesn't matter. New Earth-like planet found with oxygen. New galaxy found exactly like the solar system. Go look, it's nonsense. Properly considers all evidence and arguments. Uses rigorous and repeatable methods. Engages with peers and community. That part I never understand. Who cares what your peers think? Isn't it important to go after or to listen to what people who aren't in agreement with you think? If I had a group of 3 flat earthers, and every day I came home and talked with my 3 flat earthers, and we came up with, oh, this is good, yeah, that sounds good. And then we accepted papers from people on the outside in which us 3 would look at and determine if they met our current standards, we would just throw them away. If anything was anywhere outside of what we believed, we would just throw it away. And that's what science does. It throws away anything that isn't conforming to their dogmatic beliefs, which are nonsense. How about follows careful and valid logic? You know, like we must be spinning 1,000 miles per hour. It's a given. We must be going 66,000 miles per hour around the sun, traveling billions of miles throughout the solar system and ending up in a place where we can still see those set stars in the same exact formation that they were before. This is all very valid logic. And how about they change with new evidence? They find something that doesn't conform to gravity. Voila, we got dark energy and dark matter, and we move on. So you can see that maybe what science was intended to be, not quite the same as what it's become. And let's look at pseudoscience and see if this sounds like science today, or if it sounds like a bunch of nut jobs running around with tinfoil hats. Pseudoscience starts with a conclusion, then works backwards to confirm. Hostile to criticism. Uses vague jargon to confuse and evade. Makes grandiose claims that go beyond the evidence. Cherry picks only favorable evidence and relies on testimonials or weak evidence. Uses flawed methods of unrepeatable results. Lone mavericks working in isolation. Uses inconsistent and invalid logic. Dogmatic and unyielding. Hopefully you can see what has become of the establishment of science. I also found this little gem on the internet, which is a list of facts versus beliefs, and for science being so open and honest, they sure do like to make people feel dumb, don't they? Here's facts and here's beliefs. Let's start with facts. Facts are evolution. It's a fact because they say so, despite evidence in complete opposition of it. Gravity is a fact. They can't even explain it, but it's a fact. 4.54 billion year old Earth. is a fact. Geocentric solar system. Even though it's never been proven that the Earth goes around the sun, nor is there any evidence that's repeatable, it's proven according to them, it's a fact. How about global warming? Starting to notice a trend here. E equals mc squared. Okay, radioactive decay, of course, because that's what proves your 4.54 billion year old Earth. Tomatoes are vegetables. Thank you, facts. Versus beliefs, like stupid things like creationism and unicorns, 6,000 year old Earth and flat Earth and leprechauns and God and afterlife and storks deliver babies and witchcraft. So these are the kind of memes that science puts out, or somebody who backs science, so that they can feel intelligent. This makes them feel real good about their level of intellectualism when they don't know anything. They don't know anything other than how to go to Wikipedia and type something in and get an answer, or how to look it up in a book, and then yell at a Christian for being stupid for looking at things in a book. So, I've given you some tips. I'm not going to tell you the answer. You should decide for yourself. Was it an accidental happening that brought us here? Was it the multiverse? Or was it God or some sort of design? That's up to you, but so far I've covered the who, the what, the when, the why, and the how. What's left? The where. Lucky for you, I believe that the Earth is flat. So, let me tell you why I believe that, and the evidence I have in support. Now, follow along here. I try to draw this crude example here. As you see, here's the Earth, and here's the Sun. So we know that the backside of the Earth would at this time be dark, according to the current beliefs. And you'll see that all around us are the stars. You'll see at the top I drew a little Big Dipper, as that is what extends off of the North Star. And I also colored the back of the Earth black here just to show. And from that side we can see all around us. Correct? We can see that the stars in the north rotate in a counterclockwise fashion. The stars in the south rotate in a clockwise fashion. Now, I'm assuming everyone would be in agreement here at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the Earth through its yearly orbit of the Sun and show you where the current cosmology breaks down. When this Earth rotates to the other side, which would take 6 months, and now we're situated here. And now the dark part of the Earth is on the other side. Granted, we know that this is allowed because our days are not 24 hours, which would end up having our night and day be switched, but only 23 hours and 56 minutes. Where on this other side, we still have the stars that rotate counterclockwise in the north and clockwise in the south. However, how can we see these stars over here now that the Sun is blocking us? And how did we see these stars before when the Sun was blocking us on the other side? If we were over here looking this way, there should have been a whole star or a whole sky we couldn't see. But we move to the other side of the Sun and we still have the same view. Do you think perhaps the reason is we don't move? So here I'll give you another example. This is I'm sure you've heard me talk about it many times, my planetarium site. And you'll see that we are looking at this triangle constellation. We're in the south in Australia. Now keep an eye on this constellation here, and also look that we are in the dark looking at this southern star. And we're going to simply change our current location and see what happens. You can see that the stars rotate the way they're supposed to. And now we're going to just change our position. We're going to go from Australia instead, and we're going to go to South America. Now there it's daytime, right? Everyone would agree with that. Australia night, South America day. And here is the problem with current cosmology. guess what? That star system is simply behind the sun.
Facepalm.
You might have to pull a facepalm here, like they love to do to us, because it all makes sense now. That all the stars are always above our heads. The sun comes across the sky, which makes it too bright for us to see them, and then it disappears at night, and then again we see the stars. They tell us this is because of some sort of rotation, where if that were true, then the stars would not be above the heads of the people during the daytime. There would be a set of stars that we would not even know about. There should be some stars somewhere that we can't see, because they're always behind the sun, which doesn't move. And when the sun does move, which even they will tell you it does, it travels 500,000 miles per hour. You think it's going somewhere. Wouldn't that reveal stars to people that were behind it? Of course not. Why? Because the Earth is flat. The sun hides only the stars that we see at night, but it's during the day, so we don't have stars. Then comes the night, and we have stars. So you might need to go play with this software yourself so you can see what I'm saying, but I'll actually show you one more time. Okay, and I'll show you why I like this program so much. If you want to find it, it's at neave, neave.com/planetarium. It's free. It's fun. It's educational. It's science. So let's play with it. You'll see here that you can change the date, which is very cool. You can even go by the month or the day. You can go by the hour or the minute. And you can get a true representation of the day-night system by keeping this light over here on, or you can turn it off and get all nighttime view. But for now, we're going to keep it on real. Our location, we're going to go up to North America somewhere. We'll put it there. It's about, what? We'll move to Colorado somewhere about right there. Okay. Click done. And we can see where we're looking here. We're looking into the north. Okay. And let's take a look at a easy star system like or constellation, such as the Big Dipper. You can see that right there. And we can see that the stars rotate counterclockwise as the minutes pass. So this shows you what tonight we'll be doing. Actually, this is July 31st, what July 31st will be doing. And there's that nice little rotation in the sky. So, we're told that we're on a spinning globe, and when daytime comes, I am to believe that now I have turned into the sun, right, which does not move. And therefore, the stars that are always behind the sun, I would never be able to see. So if that is the case, then would this happen? We're going to change our location now. Now, this does drop behind here, but watch the Big Dipper for me. And you will see what happens. We're going to now just kind of take this and move right over to Russia. Do you see what's happening here? It's daytime in Russia when it's nighttime there. Now we sit in Russia. So, of course, you can't see these stars in Russia because it's daytime. The sun is right there, blocking all the stars' view. But by playing and understanding what's going on the flat Earth, you will understand that that star and that constellation is simply black or whited out from the sun. And then you will notice that by simply moving back to the United States as we go here, that's why at night we see the stars and in Russia they don't. Not because we're on two ends of the globe, which doesn't match the evidence, doesn't match what our reality shows, but because the sun is moving across the sky, blocking the stars for one half of the world, then it goes back to the other side and blocks the stars for the other half, back and forth, and flat Earth is stupid, and the globe is fact, even though it can't possibly happen with what we see in the sky. That, my friends, is called proof, and that, my friends, is called the death of the globe, the nail in the coffin, good night Irene, the fat lady has sung, Again, because I'm just trying to make this as clear as possible, take a look at these images, see if they help you understand that they tell us the stars are rotating above our heads in their circles because you're on a globe that is spinning, but they also say that you're taking a journey, an orbit around the sun, where in 6 months you'd be on the other side of the sun, yet you still have the same stars above your head. But you're on a different side. But it's the same stars on the other side. Or are you standing on a flat plane and the sun comes merrily along above your head, gets in the way of the stars for just a few hours, sometimes 12, sometimes 14, sometimes 10, and then goes about its merry way, doing its job perfectly as always, accidentally, thanks to Big Bang cosmology. Do you think the reason that the stars rotate the exact same above our heads every single day and haven't moved position in thousands of years is because we're moving billions of miles throughout the solar system, and it just so happens that those stars are such trillions upon quintillions of miles away that they don't change? Or could it be simply we don't move? Occam's razor says when faced with a couple different possibilities, usually the easiest explanation is the truth.
Nobody has a monopoly on what is a very hard problem. But I don't have much patience for anyone who denies that this challenge is real. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Folks, the Earth isn't flat, okay? The Earth is a globe, all right? Like, we need to, understand that not every single thing you've ever been taught is a lie.
And you can create those particles with impunity. And in fact, that happens, we think, near black holes. And in fact, it will happen in empty space. And so in fact, to create stuff, you don't need stuff. You just need nothing. And in this case, quantum mechanics.
You guys were saying that the debate is
How about we just listen to scientists?
That's what I'm saying. Listen to scientists. Have the humility to believe people who know things you don't.
It's like people like you guys who are saying, no, we can't have a debate on this.
The debate is over. At some point, the debate has to be.
You're the one should have some humility. Say, wait a minute, there are a lot of people who disagree.
Should we still debate whether the Earth is flat?
Characteristic you value most in yourself?
I like, and I've worked hard at this, the ability to just speak something that is so fundamentally true that it's not subject to your opinion about what I just said. That gets
an absolute.
That gets right into the center of any conversation, and then I can walk out and let that be the it's not, well, you think that, but I think something else. Then why even have the conversation? Then there's an old saying: in the universe, there are the laws of physics, and everything else is opinion.
This is people who believe that the Earth is flat, you know, pancake flat, and that the center of the Earth is the North Pole and the edge of the Earth is the Antarctica, and in some magic way.
It's not an issue for the same feces throwers and flat earthers who you're talking about who vote in the primary.
That's how science progresses, because an idea that disagrees with the evidence of experiment is false. And it's false today, and it'll be false tomorrow. I can hold a ball up, I can predict that it will fall up, I check it falls down. That idea I throw out the window. I could say the Earth is flat. I go out, it isn't flat. We don't need constructive criticism classes forever to debate whether the Earth is flat or round. But what we do in science is we get rid of all the falsehoods, and what remains has an element of truth.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline. That we're actually seeing a mirage of the Chicago skyline.
Well, if you ask me, it looks like the truth is a mirage. It's a mirage. it's a mirage. It appears that some people are waking up, some people are still asleep, but I got this little submission from a viewer that shows you even Siri is waking up.
Siri, is the Earth a ball?
A ball? Heavens no. How could you live on a ball? That doesn't seem possible. The Earth is clearly flat.
So if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, guys. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody. Trust your eyes. Trust your common sense. Trust the fact that if you believe in a globe, you have to believe in the 821-mile curvature between New York and California, even though the tallest mountain on the way is Mount Whitney, at a total of about 3 miles high. Somewhere else, there's the 821-mile curvature. Don't trust me. Trust your eyes and the fact that you can see the stars spinning above your head at night, and 6 months later, those same stars are spinning above your head at night when you're on the other side of the sun. Don't trust me, though. Go ask a scientist. I'm sure they have nothing but the truth to tell you. They would never lie. They would never confuse you. Nope, all you get from science is the cold, hard facts. Yep, everything they tell you is the truth, backed by sound, solid evidence and experimentation, like evolution. Backed by evidence, right? I'm the retard, right? I'm the fool, because I chose to research what I'm told cannot be refuted. When I was told Pearl Harbor was an unexpected attack, I researched it, and I found the truth. When I was told that 9/11 was done by some Arabs with box cutters, and that a plane hit the Pentagon, I researched it, and I found the truth. When I was told that aliens landed in Roswell, New Mexico, I looked into it and found the facts. This one was easier, because I live here. I have eyes, I have a brain, and if you think that you can tell me that we live on a ball, good for you. You can repeat lies and act like you're educated. But if you don't go and look and test and make sure that what you're saying is the truth, and still stand there and fight on behalf of liars who worship Satan, then you're no better than them. Coming soon, guys, we will complete the 8-mile test. And then when our super bright 6,000 lumen light gets here, we will go bigger to prove the biggest hoax there ever was, and continue to refute and reject those of you who continue lying on their behalf. Till next time, this is Jeranism, reminding you to be kind to one another, treat others better than you would treat yourself, don't lie to each other, and don't forget, open your mind, because there's truth inside. Take care. Peace.